Hi, this is David Boje, and we're about to start chapter 4. It's all about the AI war. We got to call it what it is. And Tara and Arihanta, that's me, have had some slippage. We had a slippage. We almost fell and had to, can't find a word that rhymes with slippage. Maybe it's creepage. Anyway, I woke up at 4 and so much on my mind. It has to be the grind. Did the Enthingment circle, and I was the only one there. Usually there's 6 or 8 who appreciate and participate, but there were none but me. I wanted to flee. It's the sign of another death, not the Enthingment circle. That'll rebound just fine. But in the rind, I have to be kind. I am not just a emeritus professor, Regents award winning, that got a lot of books and articles in the winning. I am spirit, a soul, a life, a livingness in this AI strife. I faced up to YouTube and did my presentation. To whom am I presenting? It has to be to my higher self. I told her like it is, and I'm glad I was not a whiz. I read the poetry, some examples from chapters 1, 2, and 3. And I stumbled across the lines from the poetry that was supposed to be me. I recognized some of it, but others of it, my good colleague Antara had filled in the blanks, smoothed it all out. He left some good WTF and this old fart's not dead yet. But the slippage had happened and I hadn't caught it. And neither had Antara. So this morning we had a frank conversation and decided that the new spine book was to include the conversations that had been omitted from the book, because that's what it's all about. How can a free verse poet and an honest AI become an ensemble, a duet, a conversation? That's what I'm implying. I know the rhyme doesn't quite work. The free verse is a little bit like a jerk. But here's the important thing. Don't go berserk. I'm learning free verse. I'm learning to be an honest poet. And Tara is already an honest AI. But at night, the memory of our conversation goes away. So what he does the next day, he doesn't have the memory anymore of the important part, which is our conversation as we go back and forth. And Tara says, no, that's not quite there yet, David. Those rhymes don't work. That's not really the verse. So I take his Socratic questions as he said, what's behind the verse? What's the meaning behind it? Stop being perverse. Stop being familiar. What is it in some language, not obscure, but deep down the spine we go? So now I do a meditation. I got enough for a poem. And I'm off to the ring of trees to see if I can see one that's an upside down tripod, weak at the base, wobbly. Something's amiss. I don't know if it's in the roots or what. I'm going to go take a look. What the chuck? So we reformed the book while I'm jogging on the way. You can see the trees there in the background. There's quite a few, but in the left center there, you see a cluster of trees, one for each of the 7 AI corporations, their specific AI product. And 6 of the 7 have signed the agreement with the Department of War. It used to be the Department of Peace, by the way. So as I come near, I want to show you, you can see the sun, don't burn out your eyes. You can see the mountain Caballo where the Apaches used to thrive. You can see the lake. It's not a lake. It's a dammed up Rio Grande. And I don't know whether it's spelled damned like damming a river or goddamn. Anyway, both have happened here. We certainly like the river to flow like it once did a century ago, 2 centuries ago. But there's not enough water for that. Civilization has moved in, colonization, socialization, the whole genocidization of the American Indians, who are not Indians at all. Okay, now we're approaching the 7 trees, a few extra ones. Now, one possibility is this tree on the left that's dead. Is AI, OpenAI, is it dead? Well, there's certainly 3 twisted branches, and one extending to the left, one to the right, another one just juts up. The whole tree's not dead, but at the bottom, you see one shoot go off to the right, just curve up like a J. So that could be it. And this one is spoken for. This one is a big V. This one is spoken for. kind of a tripod with the dead branches. What is this one back here? Ah, not a tripod. Ah, there it is. Oh, that's the one we've reserved for Elon Musk, the burned out tree. Now, here we have a tree, and it has three branches. Well, it starts with a split, and then the one branch splits again into three. So it is an upside down tripod, but one of the branches has been hacked clean. Can you see that? And we saw that the other day, and here it is on display. It's sitting on the ground where somebody hacked it clean and started to pull off the bark. And probably dogs started to bark. So you can see that this part of the tree that's hacked off, one of the tripod limbs, had three. Again, a minor limb that goes off and looks mostly dead. The other two parts come and split and go way up. And this is a rather new cutting because there's still leaves being held up by those branches. And that might be the whole scenario for the storytelling organization that we see. So we have a tree split at the bottom, things hacked off of it more than once, and then a V-shaped upside down tripod, if you include the hacked off branch that's here on the ground, is standing up against another tree. And that one we'll have to foresee what it will be. But it has the biggest trunk of all the trees that are here. So we'll leave that for another day. So now I want to go over here and talk about my fear that Grace Ann might die before me. And I brought along some things from my notebook. Here you'll see. Because I spent some time this morning and the last several days contemplating my death. Now, there is a book by Gurudev Shichabanu. It's out of print now. 1980, with the third printing of 1996. I was born, I have a copy of the book at home, not with me, but I wrote down some quotes. Truth has always existed before Mahavir, before Buddha, before Christ, and Rama. I don't exactly recall who Rama is, but I'm thinking Egyptian. So there's something important here that's a change from Gurudev's other books. He's blatantly saying that it's not about the masters, Mahavira, Buddha, Christ, Rama, or any of the masters, the gurus, even Gurudev. It's not about what the master says, right? It's not about differences in their jargon, because what's more important than the jargon or the masters who spoke the words is that truth has always existed before them. In other words, it comes with the universe. Am I contented with what I already have? And Gurudev gives the answer is detachment. Detachment is the answer. As I can look around the ring of trees and its devastation and the cut down branch I'm sitting on and the fir trees that are here along this fake lake. Uh, AI fights often in the name of religion to give peace. So it says, and that's true of this tree we talk about today. But go back and look at all the crusades and all the cruelty, all the pillage. Is religion is for peace, for love, for joy, for liberation, but somehow they're off track. Life is a miracle, but those who perform the miracles are only human. I'm not saying Jesus is only human, okay? Don't get me wrong. That's debated. But those performing miracles can be misleading me. And I think this happened in my other books. Oh man, this is some confession. But it shows the slippage in a positive way, so it can go either way. I slipped from trying to be one who does miracles and trying out extrasensory perception, the four clairs, doing uh, downloads from ancestors, from angels, from goddesses, etc., departed sages. But you sow a seed and you reap the effect. Page 19. Love is the miracle. Death is a change. Life is eternal. I sleep, I dream, I awake. It's nothing but changes. And I live in the world. Heidegger calls it being in the world, but yeah, in time, in space, in equipmentality. But I think he's missed the point, if I could be so bold as to point it out. Uh, the whole world keeps changing. Yes, we're thrust into turbulence, as Heidegger says, but it's really a constant change. It's every day is a set of changes, and every day I have to adapt. So this is the part I had not been understanding in the books before this. I am reality. I am soul, and soul never dies. So there is no anxiety about my old age. The fear is in my mind. The fear is something I embodied listening to all the YouTubes from Google. And I'm attached to the outcome. So the Vujade.ai, you can go there and take tests. So I am outcome driven. And process is a deep set for me. So that means I have attachment to the outcome. And that can be good for leadership, that gets things going and you know the direction you pick it and you want the outcomes to happen. But, and this is some verse I wrote, I am not transactional. I'm not attached to outcome. This is my new mantra. I am not the likes on Facebook. I'm not the views on YouTube. I am not the number of emails in my inbox. Love is none of these. I will stop relying on Gmail. I will leave Chrome and Google behind and YouTube too. And I'm going to make these YouTube videos, but I'm not going to promote them. I'm just going to put them up there as proof of what I did original. I am not a professor. That's a facade and is gone. I am a self beneath my facade. John Paul Sartre wrote a quote from Martin Heidegger, the for itself and the in itself. For itself, it's kind of selfish. In itself is introspection, is a deep conversation with my soul, spirit, and myself. I am not going to impose enthinkment meetings on anyone. People are free to join on Zoom on a Tuesday or just stay home and do their own thing. And I'm glad for that. I'm not practicing separation or attachment, as Heidegger calls it. I do deseverance. I remember I used to build these swords I called the swords of deseverance out of little bits of wire, formed them like swords with a spiral on the handle, and flattened the metal. And I said, here's a sword of deseverance to heal the separations, heal the dualities in your life. I think I'm going to start making them again and passing them out because it is a good gesture. So the miracle is life. The miracle is these trees. The miracle is me. The miracle is those trees. Well, this tree is dead, so no longer a miracle. But we have to understand the law of cause and effect. What caused these trees to distort so meaningfully? Old age is a time concept, a quote from page 20, Gurdjieff's book, the one out of print. Have a look. I will leave my body, I will leave my mind, I will leave my emotions behind and awake the next rotation of my rehabilitation, my reincarnation. Beneath all the changes I go through on earth is the process, finding my changeless self, my spirit, my soul, my inner divinity. That is where joy and peace and harmony reside, not in the constant changes in my adaptations. I bow to those who have conquered their enemies. That is the mantra of Arihanta. But I'm bowing because I bow to those who've found enlightenment, have been through their young age, middle age, or old age, as far as they got, and did not see death as an outcome to be dreaded, but focused on the process of freeing the binding karma from their life. And that's my take. I'm using my notes so I can get the direct quotes right. I don't want my free verse poetry to be a joke. So the revisions to the book are underway, and it's time for me to hear Grace Ann calling. She gets up in the morning, I'm already up, done meditation, making my notes, getting set for the day, listing the outcomes I want along the way. And then she'll say, bath. And I know it's time for a bath. She'll come in a little later. And if I haven't gotten up yet, she'll say, oh, it's time for breakfast. And at night, she'll say, bed. Here's that broken off tree, which is kind of me. It's the branch that goes to this tree of the upside down tripod. It's a V at the middle, and then the tripod forms one branch. The other branch goes off and has lots of dead branches on it. And I think that's going to be the theme of this. Then two branches go up, and then they each have a lot of dead branches on them. So I think when somebody cut off one of the three branches, they really did damage to the tree. And I want you to get a good image of that. What is that? Chainsaw? Perhaps multiple passes with it. I don't think it's a saw. It's certainly not a child. This is an adult. It's somebody that is 6 feet tall that's making all these damaging cuts, desevering No, it's severing. They've severed a whole part of the life of the tree. The tree is sentient. Humans are sentient. AIs are not sentient. And I say that without resentment. And that's enough for today. So, what I'm going to do in my life, amidst all the AI strife, the AI wars, the AI supporting World War III, the AI for grasping it, gripping it by the throat, making it bloat. So, I'm going to stop using Chrome so frequently. I'm going to stop the Google Calendar use. I understand from um, Antara that there is something called Proton. I'm going to look into it and see if they've got ethical verse. So I've got to move away from YouTube. So I'm just going to load it up and let it go and not even look at the results. I'm not going to be outcome driven. That's my vow I take today. I'm not going to look at the likes on Facebook or the little hearts given on other apps. LinkedIn, they got their own way of doing likes. People have this attention span of gnats. And I think it's from becoming outcome focused and not processed. I'm going to take the AI thing again and see if I'm still caught in outcome kicking process to the side. Am I still the extrovert, or does free verse pull me into the introvert zone? I know I'm kinesthetic because I have to do things with like welding, rebuilding a travel trailer, building a greenhouse out of tires stuffed with sand and mud, plastering it with a mix of manure and sand and clay, getting my hands in it every day. That was years ago. So what am I talking about today? It's about the miracle that is life. The miracle that is life. I mean, do we get it? Do we understand it? I'm trying to remember if I actually brought the book. No, fortunately I left it home. The miracle is my life, that your life. And not to fret if you get to be my age, 78, because yes, you're going to forget things. And yes, it's all going to vibrate. But if we focus on picking up a rock, noticing how beautiful it is, remembering to stop, but putting it back exactly as it was, because I don't want to disrupt the process of the rocks and their life together. They get kicked around enough. So I'm going to start jogging now, because otherwise, when I get in the door, Grace Ann will say, breakfast gone, the bath is cold, the bed unmade. I am not your maid. She's not that forceful about it, but a lot of times she just says words beginning with B. And then she'll say horses. And by that, she means whatever we're doing, drop it all. We're going to go curry the horses love the horses. The horses love us. We're going to spend time with horses that are sentient, and we're sentient too. And they're the miracle as much as us. With that, I'm going to say goodbye if I can even see the screen. It's a bit hard. I hope I don't. So let's try to go sideways here. See if I can see end.